Good afternoon, children.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
We completed the different types of diseases, the diseases caused by different microbes, and some of the precautionary measures that we can take to prevent and control such diseases. Now we are going to move on to another topic, that is immunity, immune system. You know about immune system. What is the role of the immune system in our body? Sharon, what is the significance of immune system?
To fight diseases.
Ah, it defends or it helps you to protect from diseases. And in the present corona situation also, you might be hearing a lot about immunity, immunity power, isn't it? Because corona, it's not affecting, or this COVID-19 is not affecting all people in the same way. Some are affected very badly. In some people, no external symptoms, no visible symptoms. In some mild symptoms, all that doctors say that it's all due to the differences in their immunity power. So immunity power, we have by birth immunity power, acquired immunity, different types of immunities there. By birth, what you have, that is innate, inborn, then what you acquire. Acquiring can be done in different ways. So all the details you will learn. We learn about different lymphoid organs, lymphatic system, different types of immunity. All that we are going to learn under this particular topic, that is immune system. Here you can see a picture of our immune system with all the different organs associated with the immune system. It's a system that gives immunity to our body. As the name suggests, provides immunity, helps you to fight against infections. It plays an important role in allergic reactions, autoimmune diseases, and organ transplantation. So you know about allergic reaction. So it's because of when you are immune, when you are depending on your immunity power, you might become allergic to certain substances. Some are allergic to milk, some are allergic to seafood. So different types of allergy, dust allergy. So all that is also under the control of the immune system, or immune system plays an important role in producing allergic reactions. Then autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease is where our own cells are getting destroyed. We'll learn about all these autoimmunity and autoimmune diseases. Then the next one is organ transplantation. From the name itself, you can understand that organ from a donor is being transplanted into another person, to the recipient. So there are chances that the body reject this particular transplant. So in order that why the body is rejecting, when an organ is transplanted into a body, let it be a kidney or a heart or whatever it is, when an organ is being transplanted, we have to match so many things. We always prefer, like if, whether it is a case of kidney transplantation, we prefer to take it from close relatives, and so many matching, blood group matching, so many other matching processes have to be carried out before an organ is being received by the person, or by an affected or person, or a person with kidney failure, because your body has a tendency to reject something which is foreign. They can distinguish between self and non-self, and they'll reject it. So in organ transplantation also, it plays a very important role. So people where organs are being transplanted, they have to take immunosuppressive drugs lifelong, because otherwise your immune system will become active and they will reject this organ that is transplanted, which can lead to complications. You will learn about all these later in detail. And your lymphatic system includes lymphoid organs, tissues, lymphatic cells, then antibodies. Antibodies you've learned. The soldiers of our body, they fight against infections. White blood cells, they produce antibodies and they fight against infection. All that we have learned. So our immune system includes lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and antibodies. Lymph nodes, have you heard about, children? Lymph nodes. Scattered in your body, you have different lymph nodes. And Sometimes when you have an infection, you can see some swelling or your lymph nodes will get swollen when there is an infection. We say Karala. I don't know whether you're familiar with the term. So there'll be swelling. So that is because that indicates there is an infection in our body. Have you heard about the term Karala? Don't know. Okay. So in some part, maybe here and all, you develop a swelling. Okay, when there is an infection in your body, it's because of these action of this immune system. Now, next, we will learn about lymphoid organs. To begin with, we will learn about lymphoid organs. So I'll repeat the points. We started with the immune system. As the name suggests, it is a system that provides your body immunity, the ability to resist diseases. And this immune system is responsible for allergic reactions, autoimmune diseases. One example is rheumatoid arthritis. Have you heard? Sandivadam, rheumatoid arthritis. It's an example for autoimmune disease. Then organ transplantation. In all these, our immune system plays a very important role. And your immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and antibodies. So first we will start with lymphoid organs. Now, what are lymphoid organs or what is its speciality? What function do they perform? So lymphoid organs, there are a few lymphoid organs and these are the organs where origin or the formation, maturation and multiplication or proliferation of lymphocytes occur. Lymphocytes is a type of WBC, white blood cells. So there are different types of white blood cells, lymphocytes, monocytes. I don't know whether we learned it last year. So lymphocytes, it's a type of white blood cell and it is in the lymphoid organs that the formation, maturation and multiplication of lymphocytes take place. There are two types of lymphoid organs. You can categorize them into primary and secondary lymphoid organs. Primary lymphoid organs, secondary lymphoid organs. We are going to start with primary lymphoid organs. Have you heard about thymus gland, children? Have you heard about thymus gland? Anybody? Yes, where have you heard? Last year? What have you heard? What do you know about thymus gland? What function do they perform?
Immunity.
Ah, ah. Yes, waiting. Let it be wrong, Punya. You're free to make mistakes. Yes.
Immunity.
That just now we learned. No, apart from that, you tell me. You have learned in a particular chapter in detail. I'll give you a clue. It acts as a dash gland.
Endocrine.
Yes, endocrine gland. It produces a hormone known as, the starting letters are same for the hormone also.
Thymosin.
Thymosin. Do you remember? Last year, whatever we learned last year, how can we carry over to 12th? No? As such, we are overburdened. Now, we cannot carry all that 11th burden also here. See, children, many of the points you should know, especially if somebody is writing entrance, you should know 11th portions also. And what is the function of thymosin? I'm not asking. Find out and tell me next day. Okay. Thymosin. And thymus gland. The thymus gland is having endocrine function at the same time. It's a lymphoid organ and it's located behind the breastbone, in between your lungs. In between the lungs, behind the breastbone or sternum. You can find this particular organ. As you can see in the picture, it's having two lobes, right and left lobes are there. Here, immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen sensitive lymphocytes. So, what is the significance of thymus gland? So, it is in the thymus gland that immature lymphocytes. So, those immature ones will get differentiated into antigen sensitive. Antigen means any foreign particle to which against which antibodies will be produced. Okay, any foreign particle you can consider as antigen, and once antigen enters your body will start producing antibodies. So this becomes antigen sensitive, it becomes functional. Its function is to provide you immunity to defend your body from infection. So it is in the thymus gland that is immature ones will become functional, will become antigen sensitive lymphocytes. Now, just a minute.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, so two examples are there, bone marrow and thymus. So these two, bone marrow and thymus, are two examples, are two primary lymphoid organs where immature lymphocytes will get differentiated into antigen sensitive lymphocytes. And as you know, a bone marrow is the place, it is a site where new blood cells are being formed. And thymus, this gland, this particular gland, I told you it's having endocrine function also. This will be large when you are born. At the time of birth, this particular gland will be large. And by the time it reach puberty, it will reach its maximum size. And then from the time of puberty, childhood days, it will be quite big. And after you reach your puberty, it slowly reduces in size. And by the time we reach our late 70s, it will be just a fat tissue. The tissue will be slowly replaced by fat. It gets degenerated, it diminishes in size. And thymus plays an important role in providing immunity. That's why we say that the immunity or immune power in old age people, in older people, they are less when compared to younger people. So the thymus plays an important role in providing immunity, but as age increases, the size of the thymus gland will diminishes and it will get replaced by thymus tissue, fat tissue. And by the time we reach puberty, all the lymphocytes necessary, T lymphocytes necessary for your body will be produced. Now, no more new cells will be produced after puberty, but as age proceeds, but these T cells will become less and less functional. And the immunity power in old people will be less. Okay. Yes, Michael? Some distractions are there, Michael. Huh? Or you're so happy with my teaching that you keep on smiling in between. So I'm lucky to have her as the biology teacher. Something is making you happy. Either you're chatting. Okay. Michael, don't think that why I'm always focusing at you. There are
This
two.
meeting is being recorded.
There are two types of, or you can categorize lymphoid organs into two, primary and secondary. Examples for primary lymphoid organs, thymus gland and bone marrow. And these are the structures of primary lymphoid organs where immature lymphocytes will become antigen sensitive. If they have to be functional, they should be antigen sensitive. Only then they can respond and defend your body. So from immature ones, they become functional. So two examples, thymus gland, I told you the location behind your breastbone or sternum, and in between the two lungs. It's a lobed structure. It's having endocrine function also. It produces thymosin, which plays an important role in the production of T lymphocytes. You will learn what are B and T lymphocytes. Okay, then bone marrow is a site of formation of blood cells. And I told you one speciality of the thymus gland. Thymus, once you are born, it will be large in size, but after you reach puberty, it slowly reduces in size, it degenerates, and in our late 70s, it will be just a fat tissue. And that is one reason whereby the immunity power in old age people is less. It diminishes with age.
Ma'am,
And yes,
ma'am, it's written becomes very small in puberty.
it will be large during birth, but as after it reaches a puberty, it again diminishes. Okay, at the time of birth, it was quite big. It was large. Then, by the time you reach puberty, it is actually from the time puberty, it keeps on diminishing in size. Okay, once you have reached your childhood days, it is big. But once you reach your puberty, from the time you reach your puberty, it keeps on reducing. Okay, Donna? Then 70, 75 years of age, once you reach, it will be just a fat tissue. All the cells will be replaced by fat. Okay. And from puberty also, again, it is going to be further reduced. Okay. Clear? Actually, what is happening is it is getting replaced by fat tissue.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Secondary lymphoid organs. The organs to which matured lymphocytes migrate, interact with antigens, and then proliferate to become effector cells. So in lymphoid organs, in the beginning, I told you about the function, that is formation, maturation, and multiplication of lymphocytes. And primary, there the immature lymphocytes become antigen sensitive. Now, once they have become matured, it is from the lymphoid organs. Sorry, it is to these organs, the matured, the organs to which, so from the primary lymphoid organs, the matured lymphocytes will move and they will interact and multiply and become effector cells. Effector cells means the functional ones, which are capable of producing immune response, capable of defending your body from infection. So it is, these are the organs to where the matured lymphocytes will move, interact with antigens, any foreign particle, and then multiply and become effector cells. Examples for secondary lymphoid organs. Spleen. Have you heard about spleen? Spleha we say in Malayalam. Spleen. Even though it's a very tiny organ. See, on the upper side of the stomach, you can find the small bean-shaped organ. Even though it is very small in size, it is playing a very important role. Then we have lymph nodes. See, scattered in your body, you can find lymph nodes. On the right-hand side, you can see the normal condition of the lymph nodes. But whenever there is an infection, especially near these armpit or near the neck region and all, sometimes when you have infection, you can find small swelling, lower portion of the head. So those are the lymph nodes, and whenever there is an infection, these lymph nodes can get swollen. So in the lymph nodes, lymphocytes are present. Tonsils. You all might have got at least once, tonsillitis. Yes, tonsils. What are tonsils? Anyway, I'll come to that. These are some of the tonsils picture you can find in Peyer's patches found in the small intestine and appendix. Then we have mucosal associated lymphoid tissue or MALT, M-A-L-T. I'll repeat it again. We completed primary lymphoid organs. And the second one, what I said, is about secondary lymphoid organs. And its function is, these are the organs to where the matured lymphocytes, it's already matured in the primary lymphoid organs. From there, they will migrate to secondary lymphoid organs, interact with antigens, and multiply and become effector cells. So 5 examples are given. Spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's patches of small intestine and appendix, mucosal associated lymphoid tissue or MALT. Spleen, I told you, on the upper side, upper left side of the spleen, you can find, upper left side of the stomach, you can find spleen. That is a secondary lymphoid organ. And then lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are scattered throughout your body. Some of the lymph nodes are shown in the figure. Then tonsils. Tonsils, see here you can find the picture of tonsils. At the back of the throat, you can see two masses of lymphoid tissue. Two masses of lymphoid tissue on either side of the back of the throat. You call it as tonsils. And when there is an infection in your body, when you have ear pain or throat pain, these tonsils will get inflamed. They'll get swollen. Inflammation of these parts will take place. So that indicates that there is an infection in your body, and you call it as tonsillitis. You will find you will have throat pain, ear pain, difficulty to swallow as symptoms of tonsillitis. So when in case of infection, these lymphoid tissues become active. These are two masses of lymphoid tissue found at the back of your throat. Peyer's patches. Peyer's patches, these are also lymphoid tissue, and you can find them in the small intestine and also in the appendix. Then finally, MALT, mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosal layer, you might have heard mucosa, submucosa, serosa. Haven't learned? Mucosa is that layer of tissue that is covering or lining the body cavity, covering the surface of internal organs. So that is mucosa. Okay. Mucosal associated lymphoid tissue means lymphoid tissue found on this mucosal layer. That is MALT or mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. So spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's patches of small intestine and appendix, mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. So all these are some examples for secondary lymphoid organs. Okay. And what is the function? In general, what can you say? The function of these secondary lymphoid organs, these are the organs to where the matured lymphocytes will migrate, interact with the foreign particles, and then multiply and become effector cells, functional cells. So some of the examples, I told you about spleen, lymph nodes, and spleen, I told you the location, and it also acts as a graveyard of RBC. It will remove the damaged blood cells. The old and damaged blood cells will be removed by spleen. Spleen has got function as a lymphoid organ. Apart from that, it also helps in removing the damaged red blood cells, and so many other functions also our spleen performs. Even though it's a very tiny organ, we call it as a graveyard of RBC. Means the damaged blood cells, RBCs, are being disposed or destroyed in the spleen.
This meeting is being recorded.
Shall we continue?
Ma'am, could you repeat what is MALT?
MALT means mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa means it's a membrane lining a layer covering the lining the internal cavity of different body cavities are there, no? It lines the body cavities and covers the surface of internal organs. It's a tissue. It's a layer of tissue. Okay. And when the lymphoid tissue are found in the mucosal layer, then you call it as mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. Got it? Okay. Then Peyer's patches, those are also actually lymphoid tissue, but these are found on the small intestine and appendix. Okay. All these are examples for lymphoid tissue. So at different locations they are found. The lymph nodes, then tonsils. Tonsils, I told, it is found at the back of your throat. Those are lymphoid tissues. Then Peyer's patches, lymphoid tissue found in the small intestine and appendix. Then MALT means found in the mucosal layer. Where do you find mucosal layer? Lining the internal cavity of the body or lining the body cavities. And also you can find them covering the surface of the internal organs. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So here you can see the picture of MALT. Okay, those tissue and the lymphoid tissue present in the mucosal layer. Esophagus. HNE means that is the name of the stain used. You don't have to worry about HNE. You can find not only in different parts, like different parts of the gastrointestinal tract, in esophagus, you can find the malt tissue. Okay, mucosal, as wherever mucosa or mucosal layer is there, you can find this particular lymphoid tissue. So what you see in the figure is the malt present in esophagus. More about spleen. Spleen is a bean-shaped organ, contains lymphocytes and phagocytes. Phagocytes means those are phagocytic cells which can engulf the foreign particles, which are capable of engulfing foreign particles. They have got both these cells, lymphocytes as well as phagocytic cells are present in the spleen. And as I told you, this is the graveyard of RBC. All the damaged and old RBCs will be removed by spleen. And even the microorganisms. So microorganisms present in the blood and also the damaged blood cells, all that will be removed by spleen. So it will filter the blood and remove out all the damaged RBCs and microorganisms. An enlarged view of spleen, you can see location in association with stomach also you can find. On the upper left side of the stomach, you can find spleen. It's a reservoir of erythrocytes. Erythrocytes means RBC. And in the fetus, it is here in the spleen that the red blood cells are being stored in the fetal stage. So it serves so many functions. Spleen, even though it's a tiny organ, it serves many important functions. It's a secondary lymphoid organ. It helps in filtering blood by removing out the worn out RBCs and microorganisms. And in the fetal stage, it is here that the red blood cells are being stored for future use. Okay. Now we can summarize. Oh yes, Vidur. Where are you hiding? All turn your videos on. Otherwise, immediately I will send a screenshot. Yes, quick.
Can you show the last slide?
Oh yes, Vidur.
Can you show the last slide?
Can I?
Show the last slide.
Oh yes. When you have completed, let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next is my turn is over. Now it's your turn. Michael, summarize, child.
We learned about the primary lymphoid organs.
Lymphoid organs, what is its function?
They're differentiated into antigen and sensitive lymphocytes.
It's my fault. I was not able to hear properly. You repeat it. Lymphoid organs are the place where, are the sites where the lymphocytes will be formed, matured, and continue. That's what you said, no?
I'm sorry. I hear it wrong.
You check once again. I'll come back to you. Rijaz. Rijaz is getting headache hearing my voice. Okay, continue.
Lymphocytes get differentiated into antigen sensitive lymphocytes.
Primary, I'm not asking about primary or secondary, generally lymphoid organs. What is its function? These are the organs where Malavika.
Lymphocytes. Lymphocytes origin, mature and
Proliferate.
Proliferate.
That means multiply. And Michael, found out? Located? Tell me the function of primary lymphoid organs. Or tell me the two examples of primary lymphoid organs.
Antigen and sensitive lymphocytes.
Primary lymphoid organs examples.
Oh, sorry. Bone marrow and thymus.
Many stories you will say. Yes,
Bone marrow
Ah.
and thymus.
Okay. What is the function of this particular primary lymphoid organs? What function do they perform, Nandana?
Immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen.
Antigen sensitive lymphocytes. Okay. Then, what is the function of spleen? What are the functions of spleen? Gayatri?
It's called the graveyard of RBC and it removes microbes from the blood.
Microorganism, and as you have said, it will remove the old and worn out RBCs. Then a few more points I have mentioned. A few more points about something related to fetus.
Yeah, it's a reservoir of
Reservoir of red blood cells in
fetus.
fetus. Then finished. Under which heading we learned spleen? It's an
Secondary
secondary lymphoid organ. What happens in the secondary lymphoid organ, Steffi? Steffi, is that your room?
Yes, ma'am.
It's spacious. Yes. Tell me.
The organs to which mature lymphocytes get transferred and turn into effector cells are known as secondary.
One more,
lymphocytes.
something in between you missed out, no?
Proliferate.
Interact with
Antigens.
antigens and become effector cells. Then apart from spleen, we learned a few more secondary lymphoid organs. Which are they? Anna? Anna is feeling sad that I didn't give her a chance. Yes, Anna, you can say.
lymph nodes, tonsils,
I don't want you to read. I've told this before. Lymph nodes. Till now I asked, see, till I ask, you will be lost in thoughts. And when I ask, only suddenly searching. You can prepare no before I ask. Yes. Lymph nodes,
tonsils,
tonsils, Maltova.
No, malt.
This word malt has got so many meaning. Okay, Maltova, malt. You have heard, no? Malt, that product.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a byproduct of like our sugarcane production. You have learned, no? At least in lower classes. Okay, leave it. Okay, malt, MALT. What is the expansion?
Mucosal associated lymph node tissue.
Lymphoid tissue. Okay, one more is missing. What patches? Fire. What? Payers patches. Payers. Where do you find Payers patches, Mehak? Two sites, two places where you find them.
Intestine and appendix.
Yes, good. So we'll wind up for today. All the best. Prepare well. Okay. Any doubts? And I think only two of them asked me doubts, but that time I was busy, but I have responded. Even though it was a little late, I have messaged it. Still you have any doubts, you can message me. Okay. So do well. I have so much of expectations. I make my correction easier. So if you write everything perfect, then I can easily correct. Okay. And do it sincerely. You can do it. You be prepared, prepare well. Already we have completed the test papers of all the chapters. Am I right? All the chapters, test papers we covered, no? And chapter 1, it's not there. It's a deleted topic. Yes? Shall we wind up? Is it because you're worried about your exams, you are hesitant to smile? Okay, bye. My energy will get wasted. Thank you, children. See you next time.